Hey Zalivers, this is SUPERZOMGBBQ, and today, ladies and gentlemen, there is big news. And if you haven't been away from the internet, you probably know what this big news is. And if you don't know it, well, you're about to find out. WWE 2K21 has been cancelled. Axed, fired, blown to smithereens, 2K21 is not happening. It's no longer a rumor, it has been confirmed. What effect is that going to have on the rest of the 2K library, including WWE SuperCard? And that's the one a lot of people, obviously, of this video are going to be more concerned about. What we're waiting for? Let's get into the details right now. Before we start off, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you see, hit the like button. Don't have to, it's just a nice thing. It helps me out. That makes you awesome. Subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of thing, if you like what you're seeing, and turn notifications on when you do. Comment to the comment section as well about what you think is going to happen. Let's get started though with the confirmation that WWE 2K, the series, is not happening this year. This has been confirmed directly by WWE on their earnings call. Now, for anyone who's glued to the internet, Twitter, YouTube, you might already have heard that there are rumors it was going to happen. Good pal of mine, Justin Leeper on Twitter, who I've been following for some time now since he originally made his commentary videos on SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. If you haven't gone to check out his videos yet, or you haven't seen them, you should. He stated a while ago that there were sources stating that WWE 2K21 was not happening. And the other news is that something else was going to replace it for this year. So it was going to be a different title, not a simulation. If you guys play 2K20 or any of the 2K games, or one of the old style games, you'd know it's like a simulation. So you're playing SuperCard, it's not a simulation game. There's no moves or anything. Obviously, I do the finishes, but this is a collectible card and battling game. But there are other games that have been not based on simulation that WWE have done, and 2K or THQ have done in the past, such as WWE All-Stars, Crush Hour, for example. WWE came out yesterday in their earnings call, and it definitely seems like a couple of questions that needed to be answered with the global situation as it is. And one of them was, is 2K21 coming out or not? I mean, if I invested hundreds of thousands or millions in a company, I'd probably want to know that too. And Frank Riddick, the WWE's interim chief financial officer, has stated that there is not going to be a launch of a game this year when it came to WWE 2K21. Now, what that doesn't mean is there's not going to be a launch of a game, but the 2K series will not have an entry this year. Now, for any of you who haven't played WWE 2K20, well, there's a reason I don't do streams on it. There are a couple of series I still need to finish off, such as the DLC, the original series, which I liked, and the best thing about the game was The Fiend, let's be honest. It was a mess, which is probably most of the reason why this has happened. Facts are simple. We are in the middle of a global situation that is incredibly serious. And for a game like WWE 2K20 being so poor last year in terms of technically, there was always going to be a need for massive restructuring of the game because of what ended up becoming of it. To answer the elephant in the room, because it is going to come up and someone at least is going to say it. Does this mean that 2K and WWE are done? I very much doubt it. Based on the fact that I can't see another developer that right now would want to jump into 2K's shoes, given that the last couple of games have been pretty bad. Plus, without an engine to run on, it's going to take a couple of years for another developer to build another game. If they did part ways with 2K for the 2K game, which of course is possible, but highly unlikely at this point, even with the problems with 2K20, I doubt the SuperCard's going anywhere anytime soon. There's a reason why WWE immediately shifted all their focus, and so did 2K to some point, to SuperCard, which we'll come to in a minute. WWE Games and 2K then said on Twitter that an announcement will be coming on Monday, which they've got a time of 7 AM Pacific time, where they will discuss not only the future of WWE Games, well, we kind of know that already, but also some exciting news. Now that is probably related to this new title, which has been rumoured to be something of an arcadey title. I mentioned it earlier on. But what about SuperCard? Well, this following part is not factual. However, there is one part that has a lot of potential. This is all rumour and speculation. There is probably not a better time right now for WWE SuperCard 2K to release a new game, because it will get buzz. There is no WWE game competition as such, and it is now the main game. And to be honest with you, look, financially, it's been the main game for some time, because it has been producing better profits. I know this is the boring part, but they get more money through SuperCard, whether you find that surprising or not, than they get through the mainstay 2K games, and have been doing so for, I believe, the last 3 to 4 years. And when I say a brand new title, I'm not talking about a brand new season, I'm talking about a brand new game. A sequel, WWE SuperCard 2. Whilst some people are probably going to sit there and go, yeah, that's not going to happen. We've been wanting a reset for years and that's never happened. Well, the reason why that would happen over a reset is because of what happened between Season 1 and Season 2. Who remembers that absolute mess? They basically said that a reset was never going to happen in the first year of the game. And then it happened. Great. Oh, and it happened with like 2 days notice, which was wonderful. And to quote Grim from Grimm's Toy Show, you guys might know him, people are pissed. Well, people aren't pissed now, apart from the Easter spring event, but people were really, really angry. And the reason they were is because they'd invested so much time, money, and they were basically told that the stuff they had was effectively worthless. They could only bring over a certain amount of cards into the game, and whilst your Season 1 card were able to be used in a Season 1 port within the game, Season 2 basically took over that, and, well, you could only transfer a certain amount of cards into the game. It took a long time for the trust in the WWE SuperCard and WWE Games community to kind of rebuild after that, because you got to imagine you put all that time into it, and some people thousands and thousands of thousands of dollars or pounds or euros into it, only to be told that, yeah, basically all that you've spent is null and void. Now you're gonna be a little bit angry. Since then we've had the seasons, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and potentially 7, but I hear a lot of people saying, well, why doesn't SuperCard just reset? Because other sports games do. Well, actually, technically, they don't. What they do is they release a brand new game every year. The service still exists. FIFA's a great example of that, where old FIFA games still exist, still have their marketplaces up. No one plays the games anymore, but the games are still there, and your Ultimate Team Progress, for example, is still available. Your cards don't disappear, those cards don't transfer across. That's a nice little polish of some Survivor knee pads. I'll take that, let me just lock that in. Nice. And this is where the idea of a WWE SuperCard 2 comes from. The format of such thing would be is that this current game would continue in the same direction, probably have less new content in it, and a brand new app would basically work in tandem going alongside it, which would be very similar to what the other sports games do. Madden, FIFA, Pro Evolution, NHL when there's a game every, NBA 2K. All those games have that reset, but in a very different way how SuperCard did it in the past. As with all games, eventually people will stop playing this game and they would what they call sunset the servers, meaning that the game would become effectively a shell and you wouldn't be able to access anything that was on it. The new game then takes over and continues where that left off, and would have already built up a nice little following, so anyone who was still playing the original game would then move on to the new game, which in like 99% of the cases with games is what happens anyway. People naturally migrate over to the new game because it's got more shiny stuff. There is no evidence of this apart from a very interesting little trend I found, and this is a very, 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 very big pinch of salt. I mean, it is. Be careful that you don't take this for granted. On the Google Play App Store, I've mentioned this before when we talk about NFL SuperCard, because NFL now has dealings for non-simulator games with 2K as well, which has grown speculation to think of mobile games such as maybe an NFL SuperCard. Now, if you go to the Google Play Store having no search history whatsoever and type in the words WWE SuperCard, you'll notice that the second search option says WWE SuperCard 2. Now, that may just be because a lot of people have searched it up. However, with everything that's going on, I wouldn't be surprised that something like that was being planned, because the game, well, it's been running for a while. There's every possibility that this is all hokey and there's nothing being planned and they're going to run the game to its like season 57 or something. But it'd be interesting to see where the game goes forward. Only yesterday, another up, down, down video comes out with SuperCard included in it. And you'll notice that WWE 2K20, apart from the original videos and some for the advertisement beforehand, have barely featured on that or any other WWE channels. Maybe a couple of reversal videos and finisher videos, but otherwise it's kind of been none. And most of the WWE 2K community have kind of moved back to 2K19 or onto modded games, where, trust me, it's a much better experience. I know that firsthand. What I think we can get from this, though, is it's very likely, especially recently, as you may have noticed, that WWE and 2K are going to double down on SuperCard being their effectively primary game with WWE content in mind, unless, of course, another title comes out. Even then, with the history the game has and the fan base the game has, right now, it is the premier, the only WWE title they currently have as a series. And it's weird to think that only a few years ago, the game was deemed to be like a side project of 2K's WWE, and now it is the main title that 2K have. How this game has grown. And regardless of what happens, I cannot see another game coming over unless it's an absolute masterpiece and dislodging that from there. So what we can kind of grasp off that is, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen this year with everything going on. And there'll be at least a good number of people who would agree that now's probably a good time to make it happen. I know there'll be a lot of people who will disagree and say, I'm gonna quit the game, but it is 6 years old. At some point, you've gotta just move on. And they can't really move on with the current game as it is. A brand new app would allow them to make changes and become more creative. I'm just putting that out there. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, as I said down below. Like if you enjoyed what you saw, and if you feel like it, subscribe to the channel whilst you're there. Turn your notifications on, and I will see you in the next one. Laters.